Saturday from 9 till 12 with Stephen Foster on BBC Radio Suffolk.
Here's Bonnie Tyler.
I was lost in France, in the fields the birds were singing. I was lost in France, and the day was just beginning. I just stood there in the morning rain. I had a feeling I can't explain. I was lost in France, in love. I was lost in France, in the street a band was playing, and the crowd all danced, couldn't catch what they were saying. When I looked up, he was standing there. I knew I shouldn't, but I didn't care. I was lost in France, in love. Ooh la la la, ooh la la la, dance. Ooh la la la, dance. Ooh la la la, ooh la la la, dance. Ooh la la la, dance. Ooh la la la, ooh la la la, dance. Ooh la la la, dance. I was lost in France, and the vines were overflowing. I was lost in France, and a million stars were glowing. And I looked round for a telephone to say, baby, I won't be home. I was lost in France, in love. Ooh la la la, ooh la la la, dance. Ooh la la la, dance. Ooh la la la, ooh la la la, dance. Ooh la la la, dance. Ooh la la la, ooh la la la, dance. Ooh la la la, and I looked round for a telephone to say, baby, I won't be home. I was lost in France, in love. Ooh la la la, ooh la la la, dance. Ooh la la la, dance. Ooh la la la, ooh la la la, dance. Ooh la la la, dance. Ooh la la la, ooh la la la, dance. Ooh la la la, dance. Ooh la la la, ooh la la la, dance. Ooh la la la, dance.
Bonnie Tyler, lovely to talk to you.
Hey, it's great to be on air with you.
You've been in the business a long, long time now, but things looking very good for you again.
Oh, I'm so thrilled, because this success will probably mean I can tour this country, which is my goal, to tour here again with my band.
I bet it is, yeah.
Hopefully around about October,
Yeah, we haven't seen you on stage for quite some time, have we?
No, not in this country, but I was on the stage last weekend, sold out shows in Europe, yeah.
Excellent. So you're still doing big business in Europe and...
Oh, yeah, I'll be there next weekend as well.
Lovely. Well, at the moment...
Well, the weekend after.
Excellent. The record we've just played was your first big hit in the UK. It must mean a lot to you.
Oh, can you imagine the first time you hear yourself on the radio, Oh, it's brilliant. And then you get Top of the Pops. I mean, it's every girl's dream to be on Top of the Pops, And I couldn't believe it. I can't believe that Lost in France is 25-year-old mine. It's just unbelievable.
And still getting played all over the world. Such a great song, isn't it?
It is a classic. Most of my songs are classics, though, which is, it's great, but they're hard to follow up, like there's Lost in France. Then I had More Than a Lover. That wasn't a classic, but then It's a Heartache was a classic. Total Eclipse of the Heart, classic. Holding Out for a Hero, another classic, And I've been really lucky, but I've had lots of other hits,
You have. You've had a very good career, but take us right back to the word go and your younger days in Swansea or near Swansea.
Yeah. Well, I used to sing in my bedroom with a hairbrush, as the girls do, I suppose. I don't know whether they do it these days. They probably got microphones and goodness knows what now. But I had a hairbrush, right? And I'd tape Top of the Pops every Sunday, And I used to go through the tape and write down all the words to the songs that were my favourite on the tape, from the top 40. And I'd sing along and learn it off by heart, and pretend I was on stage singing. I used to do this all the time. And my auntie heard me singing, and she said, you should go into a talent competition. You've got a great voice, And I was very, very shy in them days, But I did eventually. I went into this talent competition and I actually came second. And it was I sang Those Were the Days by Mary Hopkins and Can't Stop Loving You by Ray Charles. And I just won £1, I came second, I won £1. But there was some local agents there that wanted to put me on their books, to do shows around Wales and whatever, I said, I can't, I don't know anything, I only know a few songs and I haven't got no music or anything like that. And they said, well, you could make a living at this. So, I went for an audition because there was an advertisement in the local newspaper looking for a girl singer to join a harmony band called Bobby Wayne and the Dixies. 35 people turned up and I got the job. So I was with them for 1.5 years and then I formed my own band, Imagination, and it was while I was with them in 1974 that a talent scout from London came down and heard me singing. Went back and told Ronnie Scott and Steve Wolfe that he'd heard a girl singing Nutbush City Limits with a very husky voice. And that was in 1974. I didn't hear anything until 1976, but I had a phone call out of the blue then. I didn't care because I was working every night with my band anyway, doing what I love. And they got a record deal for me on RCA Records.
And you haven't looked back since?
No way.
You've been described as the female Rod Stewart as far as your voice is concerned.
Yeah.
I have to say you're a darn sight better looking than Rod Stewart.
Oh, goody, goody.
But the voice is similar, I suppose. I know where people are coming from when they say that. What are your thoughts about that?
I was always pretty chuffed to be compared to Rod Stewart. Because, in 1976, he was at the peak of his career, really, and then all of a sudden, like a little girl from Wales, 26, I think I was then, I can't remember. I'm 50 now, I know that. But I would think I was 26 then. It was in 1976, and being compared to Rod Stewart was like a huge compliment to me,
Now, we heard your first hit single a few minutes ago, Lost in France, which is on your new compilation, your greatest hits CD. I'm going to play It's a Heartache now, which was your second hit. And this was a hit in the UK and all over Europe, wasn't it?
And America.
And the States.
Yeah, but it was the first song that broke America for me. I've broken it a few times since then. And but I was very lucky because two girls, Ronnie Spector and Juice Newton had already recorded It's a Heartache and released it in America, so there was already two versions out there, but they didn't get any airplay. But when my version was released, it was on all the airwaves. I remember getting out of the limo at the airport and thinking, like you're flicking through the stations, and there's so many of them in America, and I was on just about every station. It was so exciting, fantastic. And I was on Solid Gold, which was like the Top of the Pops and everything, I was touring all over the States. Fantastic. Great time. Hard work, mine, but I've never been afraid of hard work.
Well, let's hear that
I
particular
love singing,
single.
that's the best.
Well, that's what it's all about, isn't it? If you love what you're doing, that's all of it, really.
For sure.
Okay, It's a Heartache. Let's give that a listen, Bonnie, and we'll talk some more in a few minutes.
Okay. It's a heartache
nothing but a heartache. Hits you when it's too late. Hits you when you're down. It's a fool's game. Nothing but a fool's game. Standing in the cold rain, feeling like a clown. It's a heartache. Nothing but a heartache. Love until your arms break, then he lets you down. It ain't right with love to share when you find he doesn't care for you. It ain't wise to need someone as much as I depended on you. Oh, it's a heartache. Nothing but a heartache. Hits you when it's too late. Hits you when you're down. It's a fool's game. Nothing but a fool's game. Standing in the cold rain, feeling like a clown. It ain't right with love to share when you find he doesn't care for you. It ain't wise to need someone as much as I depended on you. Oh, it's a heartache. Nothing but a heartache. Love until your arms break, then he lets you down. It's a fool's game. Standing in the cold rain, feeling like a clown. It's a heartache. Love until your arms break, then he lets you down.
The unmistakable voice of Bonnie Tyler, who's my very special guest on this Saturday morning on BBC Radio Suffolk. Bonnie, that was your second hit, but your biggest hit was a few years later, and who could forget Total Eclipse of the Heart?
I know. Well, I was a big fan of Meatloaf's Bat Out of Hell album. Do you remember that?
I do, yeah.
Yeah, it was like, everywhere. It was in the charts for about 5 years, I think, you know. But I was, I really loved Bat Out of Hell by Meatloaf. And when Columbia, it was then, you know, CBS, Sony now, isn't it, signed me, they said, well, who's your favourite producer? Who would you like to work with? And I really loved, you know, Jim Steinman's work. I loved that big bombastic sound, you know, very majestic. And I knew that I could work with him, but I had to, you know, convince him of that as well, didn't I? 'Cause I never thought there was a chance in hell that he would produce Bonnie Tyler, you know what I mean? But we thought, well, why not? Ask him, what can he say? So we asked him, and he said, well, send over some other material, because he was only ever familiar with It's a Heartache and the album Natural Force, which was a big hit in America, you know, and the album. And it crossed over into the country charts as well. But he didn't know any other stuff, so we sent a few more albums over. He liked the voice. He knew he could work with the voice, but he wasn't happy with the material on that, obviously, but not his kind of thing. But he said, come over and meet me, and we'll have a chat. We'll play different songs. I went over to meet him. And we got on like a house on fire. 3 weeks later, I went back and he'd written Total Eclipse of the Heart for me. I was in tears when I heard it. I thought it was so magnificent. I couldn't believe that I was to get this song, Oh, fantastic. I didn't think it would be a hit, mind. I thought it was too long and possibly, I know it sounds ridiculous, too good for the radio. But it did. Everybody played it, and it not only got to number one in America for 4 weeks, it got to number one in this country for 4 weeks. And the album that it was on was went straight in the British album charts at number one. And I was the first girl to do that, the British girl. It was a mega, mega record for me, and I never, ever get tired of singing it.
I bet you don't know. It's been extremely good to you, hasn't it? And,
yeah.
And if you ask someone to name a Bonnie Tyler hit, chances are that'll be the one, won't it, really?
Yeah, but it's strange, like in the street they say, "Hiya, Bon, it's a heartache," It's always it's a heartache.
Oh, is it really? Yeah.
Maybe it's because Total Eclipse is too difficult to sing, I don't know.
Yeah, it's a heartache might be a bit more straightforward for people.
Yeah. Well, and everybody emphasises the hoarseness, don't they? They sing it really like, "It's a," like that, not like I'd sing it at all. Like I sing it naturally husky.
Have you always had a husky voice?
Well, you'll hear the difference between Lost in France and It's a Heartache, because in between then I had the operation on nodules on my vocal cords. But that was a case of having to have them taken off because I couldn't, I'd had them twice before and they went with rest. But this time they were persistent, so I had to have them surgically removed. And you're not supposed to talk after the operation for 6 weeks. As you can imagine, was very now impossible for me. I couldn't keep my mouth shut, so it's terrible. So my voice ended up more husky after the operation than before.
And it's become part of your trademark, hasn't it?
Well, yes. Everybody says they know it's me.
That's right. Let's hear Total Eclipse of the Heart.
Every now and then I get a little bit lonely and you're never coming around. Turn around. Every now and then I get a little bit tired of listening to the sound of my tears. Turn around. Every now and then I get a little bit nervous that the best of all the years have gone by. Turn around. Every now and then I get a little bit terrified, and then I see the look in your eyes. Turn around. I can do a total eclipse of the heart. Once upon a time there was light in my life, but now there's only love in the dark. Nothing I can say, a total eclipse of the heart. falling apart. Nothing I can say, a total eclipse of the heart. A total eclipse of the heart. A total eclipse of the heart.
The Jim Steinman number Total Eclipse of the Heart, which opens the new CD from Bonnie Tyler. It's her greatest hits album. It's in the album charts as we speak. And Bonnie, it must be great to be back in the album charts.
No, it's fantastic because it means that I can get out there and do live gigs, hopefully around October. Oh, sorry,
your phone's ringing.
Sorry, my phone's ringing. I'm so sorry. Let me put it off. Hello, whoever it is, I'll have to ring you back. I'm in the middle of an interview. I'll ring back later. Bye. Sorry about that. Right, let me see now.
Where were we?
Got it off now.
Total Eclipse
Right.
of the Heart. We've just played that, yeah. Also at around this time, Bonnie, you joined forces with another Welsh singer, Shakin' Stevens.
Oh, yeah, it's a rocking good way to mess around and fall in love. Yes. Got to number 3, you know.
Great song,
And,
isn't it?
yeah, it's a great song. Who originally sang it now? Was it...
Brooke Benton, wasn't it? And Dinah Washington.
That's right.
Yeah.
Dinah Washington,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
It's a fun, happy-go-lucky song, you know.
Yeah, it is, and it gave you a big hit in the UK. And of course,
Yeah.
Shakin' Stevens, like yourself, was a very big star at that time, wasn't he? He had
Yeah.
hits
You know,
every
he
year
had
for a number of years.
tremendous hits, didn't he? Yeah.
Good period. This is also the era of videos, wasn't it? Very much. I know they're very big still now, but in those days, the video was something of a novelty. And I remember the one for Total Eclipse, for example. A lot of
It
impact.
got nominated. It got nominated for 2 Grammy Awards.
Hmm.
No, I got nominated for 2 Grammy Awards. The video was one of the nominations, and Best Female Singer was the other nomination. Michael Jackson won it with, I think it was Thriller then, that video. Or was it Billie Jean? I think it might have been Billie Jean, actually. I can't remember now, but I know Michael Jackson won it. And I think Irene Cara was the girl saying,
Yeah.
got a feeling, something like that.
It's from
She won
Fame,
the
wasn't it? Yeah.
best vocal
Oh,
thing, you know.
Flashdance, yeah.
But I was nominated. It was fantastic to be, you know, there, but nerve-wracking. You know, you've seen the Grammy Awards on the television. Well, you be on it and sing live, walking down the stairs at the same time in a pair of high-heel boots. Oh, God. I was really petrified. And I couldn't even, my throat was so dry, I didn't even have any saliva to swallow, you know, and I thought, nothing's going to come out. I was petrified. And I was just about to call for some water. Well, with that, the music starts and I had to start singing. How on earth I got anything out of my mouth, I'll never know. But it was a perfect vocal. And I remember walking off the side of the stage and seeing Annie Lennox was there, dressed as a fella. I could remember she had that hit out then, where she was dressed up as a boy with a moustache and everything.
Oh, yes, yeah.
Yeah, and was another singer who was there? No, she sounds a bit like me, actually, the other one. Kim Carnes.
Oh, yes. Becky
Do you know
Davis
what?
eyes,
When she had that big hit record, Betty Davis Eyes, so many people used to say to me, oh, I love your new song. You didn't tell me you were bringing a new song out. And I used to think, what are they listening to, you know? And then when I heard it, I thought, God, I can't remember recording this song. And it sounded so much like me. I thought I'd done it in my sleep. Even my mother thought it was me, you know. And it wasn't. It was Kim Carnes.
You'd like to have done it, wouldn't you? Great song.
Great song. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Kim Carnes said to me, Bonnie, did you sing that live then, Total Eclipse? I said, yeah. Wow, she said, that was a great vocal. I said, thank you very much.
Well, that was a very high-profile performance by you. Another one was last year at a certain wedding in Hollywood, wasn't it? Catherine Zeta-Jones and
yes,
Michael Douglas. You guest at that wedding, and you had to sing Total Eclipse there, didn't you?
Yeah, well, she is related to my husband. Catherine's father, David, is my husband Robert's cousin, you know. And they like drinking pals and whatever, you know. They see each other down the wine bar, whatever. And anyway, we got the invitation to the wedding. And when Catherine was home with the baby to show off Dylan, you know, with Michael as well, she asked me a couple of months before the wedding, would I like to sing at the wedding? And I said, oh, I'd love to, you know. And she said, I don't want to put you on the spot, mind. She said, I want you to enjoy the wedding. I don't want to give you any stress. If you want to do it, we'd love it. But we'd understand if you don't want to do it, and if you just, want to relax and enjoy yourself. I said, no, of course I'm going to do it, So I did it. But like I've said so many times before, you can imagine how many people ask me about the wedding. But, I like a drink, right? And I never drink before I sing. I'll have one glass, if anything, right? Before I do a show. Because my show's hour and 45 minutes. I got to have my wits about me, And be in total control of my voice. And I can't do that with the few drinks inside me. So I had to keep sober. If I'd known I wasn't going on stage till 12 o'clock, I tell you, I might have had second thoughts about singing there. I had one glass of vintage champagne from 7:30 until 12 o'clock midnight when I came off stage. Oh, did I make up for it?
I don't blame you.
It was a great wedding, though. It was fantastic. Yeah.
Now, you know a lot about longevity of marriages, don't you? Because you've been married for a long, long time.
Yeah, I've been married for 28 years, and I've been with him for 34 years.
That's wonderful, because we hear so much these days,
I don't feel 34, I only feel 28 now. But yeah, it is a long time. I had my my 25th wedding anniversary in the Plaza in New York as well. And actually, I had my 50th birthday celebration there, a couple of, 8th of June, my birthday. So I was at my big Lincoln 5-0 over there in June this year.
The big 5-0, Bonnie. I saw you on GMTV a couple of weeks ago, and you don't look a day over 21.
Oh, thank you very much. Midnight Secret, dramatically different moisturiser and a Botox. I'm due for one at 4:30 today, actually.
Right, okay.
Yeah.
Let's hear another track from the Greatest Hits album, and one which was in the film Footloose, wasn't it? Holding Out for a Hero.
Oh, yeah.
Another great song.
Yeah, this was number 2 for 6 weeks in this country. And the only thing that kept it off the number 1 spot, which I can't grumble about because it was a charity record, was Dancing in the Streets by David Bowie and Mick Jagger.
Oh, not a bad one to keep you off the top. That was a good record.
No, I've always got good... I've always got really big people chasing me up the charts, like either Michael Jackson or, somebody that's... fantastic. So I can't grumble.
It's when these novelty records keep you off the top. It must be a bit galling.
Yeah, imagine the Birdie song keeping you off the top. Then you get really naffed off.
Let's hear Holding Out for a Hero. This is Bonnie Tyler.